fire is a part of us. Perhaps we're still Dark Souls 2's final ending, where we want to discover what lies beyond light, what lies beyond dark, and we need to take a leap of faith, and no air of fire and no spawn of darkness should
Are you really closing your door on me?
Yes, I need you to stay alive.
All I hear is screaming.
Alright, you may come in. Melvio.
Hey guys, how's it going? So, let's go through this network test together, shall we? I've played through this area so many times now. I've been lucky enough to get a chance at pretty much every iteration of this town.
Alright, yo, come on, this way.
I've come up with some good talking points. Some of these things we're going to talk about today are little secrets that I found after playing for so long.
Just run as fast as you can through this door here, and then just hit it right, or you'll get killed. Come on.
With the 9 hours of footage I managed to record.
Nobody else, should we?
Let's get into it.
Alright, no, wait, not yet. But you see that open? No, don't get too close. Back up.
Is an ornament that looks
You see that opening right there?
the Lord vessel
That door? This door here. As soon as we beat the boss, you need to come back here and you need to run through that door.
Sacrifice bonfire mechanic that we haven't seen in action yet. If you're not familiar
Don't be
with
afraid,
the
just do it.
It was this item in Dark Souls 1.
Remember, you gonna back me up here?
Souls of really powerful lords and unlocked the gate to the final boss, and having it also allowed you to walk between bonfires. I was thinking, in Dark Souls 3, you're able to walk between bonfires from the very start, according to Miyazaki. So maybe this signifies that. As we progress down this laneway, take a closer look at these hollows off to the left and right. The first thing that struck me was that in this game, they're grey, not brown or green like in previous games. But what's most interesting about them is that they're praying, and that they pray to two specific things. They pray to the trees, and they pray to the dragons. Now, the dragons, I'm pretty sure, are the
shit
from Dark Souls 1, whatever that
Stay alive, nigga.
And the trees are interesting too, because they have other hollows woven
No, seriously though, stay alive.
into them. So, what are the implications
Oh, God damn it.
of this? Why is there this powerful grey ashen theme throughout the entire game? And why are the hollows praying to trees and stone dragons? Well, once, grey arch trees and stone dragons was all that there was. This was the age of ancients, where everything was grey and lifeless, and nothing lived. Then there was the age of fire, and
Oh, I fell.
the age of darkness.
Fallen.
No,
GG on that, bro.
They were creatures that
We both did the same thing. We both. Oh shit! Yo, hurry up and kill one, and then kill Alyssa left.
These hollows here might be praying for some return to this grey age. Nothing lives.
Sonic, just run. All you have to do is run the entire time.
Hollows woven into the trees that they're praying to, and that's not the first time that we've seen that.
Run, Sonic, run.
Giants in Dark Souls 2, they turned into trees and grew that way. Perhaps the hollows here
No.
for some kind of rebirth in that
My
place.
soul.
But it's really bizarre. There's no real clear answer right now, but it awakens that curiosity we have, and it makes us ask, what part of the Dark Souls timeline are we in right now? And the fact that it awakens that curiosity at all, that's what's important.
Hey, well, you're the one who died, not us.
This next area, you gotta ask yourself, like, damn man, all these hollows have to do all day is sit around, and there's
Not while I'm in my world.
really good chairs in this area. Why isn't anyone sitting down? But why are there so many chairs here? What's interesting is that all these chairs are pointed towards the dragon, and what I get from this is that they're there for a reason. Maybe when these dragons landed or died, it looks like the inhabitants of the castle pulled out a bunch of chairs from inside and just sat watching the dragon as it flaked away. As they hollowed, they probably abandoned those chairs and got down on their knees instead. That's my take on it anyway. As we kill these enemies, take a look at the blood splatter effect. It's definitely reminiscent of Bloodborne, isn't it? And that blood splatter, it's a great effect. It's a welcome one, and it is nice that it's a little bit tuned down. You don't become drenched in blood like you do in Bloodborne. But to me, it's an indicator that this game is clearly running on an appropriation of Bloodborne's engine, and man, this
I'm gonna die, guys, help.
good. I love it.
Nigga, you didn't summon us yet.
Of your character like you do in Blood
Okay,
Bowl.
come over here where the
Tweaked it
first
so
little
that
mini
things
thing
feel
is.
segmented and controlled in that traditional Souls
Oh,
way.
fuck, I'm
In
going to
Blood
die
Bowl,
to
they
this
were
thing.
more flowing and ferocious. People are
Yep.
commenting that the game feels too fast, and I think when you think about it being too fast, it's worth remembering that characters felt really fast in this demo because equipment burden isn't.
Alright, my sign is down. You gotta find it.
Really feels like when they're burdened down
Where
with
is it?
plate and weapons. In the network test, there were 4 tombstones that you could offer a flame to.
Oh.
This one reads,
I'm
Grave
dead.
of the Nameless
there
Retainer
goes all my soul.
raised his sword for the Lord of Cinder. Each one seems to tell the lore of someone who died here in this spot, if I'm not mistaken. This one, for example, explains a
Oh,
simple
no wonder I
retainer
couldn't
circle.
get you guys. I was
I'll bring up
dead.
the rest as we get to them. The others are a bit more interesting. In one of the presentations I attended, I got to see Miyazaki present, and he said that it was his favorite little touch to add a giant fire-breathing dragon to the first level, and as usual, he delivers on that. One thing you mightn't have known is that you can actually kill this dragon with the mage class. It requires you to keep drinking your Ashtus flasks and replenish your mana, and you know, that just made me remember, like, I really like how mana actually feels like a resource in this game, unlike having spell charges in previous Souls games. When you kill the dragon, you get 27k souls, which was fantastic in a demo where you couldn't use souls, but, you know, seriously, I think it's going to be amazing if you can kill that dragon early in the game in Dark Souls 3, because 27k at this point in the game, that's a ridiculous amount, considering this is one of the early levels. If you run through the fire, before or after it lands, it allows you to bypass
Okay, where's your sign?
off to
Okay,
the
okay.
side, and you can go under the
Okay,
dragon
Reaper.
and avoid
I wanna need your
fighting mob
assistance.
enemies.
You
And
got-
it's
Oh,
more
fuck
like
it.
an
Oh.
path. You face this spear-wielding soldier instead, and you get a few extra items for your trouble. One thing about taking this alternate path is that when you exit the room, like
gonna
I'm
spawn
doing
on
here, you can expect to
Oh,
get
I'm dead.
ambushed. There are hollows hiding on the left and right of this door that aggro as
I
soon
wanna
as you
click
walk
this
past them, which perfectly interrupts your...
You said you're dead?
It's interesting though, if you
Yeah,
walk
but-
perfectly down the middle of
No
it,
way.
they don't...
What? Are you serious?
Impressed with the ambush timings in this game. There are a lot of thief-type hollows that will lead
You fucking noob.
accuracy, which really motivates you to
I
keep
tell you,
shield
I'm
up at all
bad.
times and check all those corners. I kept forgetting about this guy, for example, and
Ah,
his attacks are pretty punishing, and, like, even if you know he's coming at you, they hone in on you, so it's quite hard to dodge it, even in subsequent playthroughs. And halfway through this demo,
Okay,
I remembered
so
that
go.
embers are a thing. They weren't in previous versions. If you consume an ember, it grants you a large bonus to your maximum health, it restores all your health, and it also opens you up to invading, summoning, and being invaded.
Okay.
Your character has his or her ember restored, and the edges of your clothing become
Put that, mark
singed.
up
I
again.
love the effect. Every game has something like this.
My sign is down in the same spot it was
A lot
before.
of things from previous games. They actually retain
Okay,
that
now,
humanity shape from previous games, which is odd because our character doesn't even appear to have a physical hollow state. You know, there's going to be an answer to that question, like why aren't we hollow and why are we restoring our ember? I'd even go as far as to say we might not be a chosen undead in this game. Halfway
Would you
through
like
this
me to
demo,
kill him?
come
Is that your
across
final request?
hollows who are praying to a tree.
Yes, that's my final request. Just kill it.
But then
Understood.
One of them stands and walks towards you slowly.
Why did you do so much damage?
This guy is intimidating, and he's really disorienting the first time you fight him. It's quite easy to fight him if you manage to stand behind
Did you
him.
summon Melville?
The trick is just...
Melville, are you in the circle? Are you in the circle room
When you
again?
first fight him, it's hard to figure out which part is his head, which part is
Nah,
his
he's in here.
which part is attacking you, and
Hey, let's try a new technique, right? It's called not dying.
You can actually kill this guy quickly.
Okay, I'll just stand
before he
back.
becomes a black mass, but few new players will figure this out first try. At this point, you can overlook most of the stage, and it's here that you realize how vertically they've designed this area. The path splits here, and it offers 3 different directions, different enemies to face, but only one destination, down. The fastest and most suicidal way down is to drop off this roof to the courtyard below, but very few people will do this. The ladder is the most logical option, and this right here is one of my favorite points in the demo.
What?
Like, pretend you're coming down this ladder right
Oh my god, what the fuck? How did that happen?
like he's facing you. So if you did see him, you've probably discounted him as not being a threat. And right next to this ladder is a doorway, This doorway takes you on the longest path to the boss, with the most enemies and dead ends and risks of dying. But you don't know that.
Oh,
and then
shit.
you're hit by this arrow. You might even realize that this arrow goes straight through the room here, so naturally you'll feel like you're endangered from some sort of...
Mikey, go resummon Melville, damn it.
Shooting you, and then another guy will shoot you.
While I take care of these guys.
Then you get ambushed, and it's like a trail of breadcrumbs leading you towards the most logical option, because going down this really long ladder is the fastest way to the shortcut. But if you did decide to go through this doorway, then you're in for a longer path that has more dead ends and more difficult enemies. Hidden at the bottom of these stairs is the dungeon cell key, which unlocks an optional mini-boss type enemy, as well as another boss.
Oh shit.
To honor and shadowy retreats.
I have no idea.
Fears, temptations, and the winged executioner. You could even argue that the winged executioner is this fat knight who will be your next opponent. He has an executioner's axe.
Oh, I am about to be seriously fucked in like 2 seconds.
After all. But basically, he's Bezusa from Berserk.
I'll come for you,
He's
Reaper.
likely going to be your most difficult
No,
enemy.
you stay there. I fight my own battles.
Unlock the shortcut.
Okay.
He has a few tricks up his sleeve. For some
Could I
reason, he's
die,
the
nigga?
kind of enemy you expect to cast magic.
You misunderstand me, my friend.
And he also has this charged spin attack that you're going to want to look out for, which can easily clip you on its last swing. It's also interesting that he's wearing blue. I was watching a Let's Play by another uploader called Hellkite Drake, and he mentioned that the blue color could represent how he's from a different army, and he might be opposed to all these knights in the red. Additionally, he's an executioner standing in a courtyard full of headless knights, so those two things could be related as well. Although you could easily make the argument to the contrary. I mean, if he's from a different faction, why are the other red knights just letting him live? And why hadn't they killed him before they all went home? And if he is an executioner, why are there statues holding their heads in their hands later on?
Yo, peep what I'm standing in.
That the statues
Mobile.
were crafted before everyone got their heads
I
cut.
slaughtered them all.
Yeah, there's a few things that don't match up here.
I slaughtered. I slaughtered them all for my master.
More and more statues depicting
Yay.
as well as lots
Now
of
judge, you're judge me in their blood.
Just before the
Lick it off the sword.
knights, and one of them is even a red-eye knight, which is a bit of a demon soul's throwback.
Kinda like a
When
ladder
I
like
fight
a
all these
mouse.
guys, I use
More enemies to slaughter.
It makes me feel
The
like
bloodlust is real.
great way to use mana. You know, when you use a spell, it's situational, and in the same way, when you use a weapon art, which consumes mana, it also feels situational. You commonly use it to break an opponent's guard or to fling them up into the air, and it's just another tool you can use to take
You shall not pass. No, you shall. Mikey, guess what? You're fighting by yourself.
from his homeland.
Okay, that's fine. Run!
In one of the cinematic trailers, you would have seen these hags walk
Did you jump off?
across the frozen
Get smushed.
In the courtyard outside.
Oh shit.
You can see them here as well. They're all trying to climb over the fence or make their way towards the actual cathedral. It almost looked like some flash event occurred where they all became petrified at the same time. It's
Knock his ass down, bro.
Before we fight the boss, let's go and fight the ice knight.
Oh, that
You
was
guys
bad.
remember that?
Oh, we're fucked. We lost.
You can use it to unlock a cell door far below the second bonfire. This takes you down to the ice knight.
Mobile, you have left me alone. You left me alone with him.
And it
Don't
takes
die.
roughly 20 hits to kill
Yes,
him
you-
with a light weapon.
You have
On
my
top of all of that,
save.
if you
I have no will to
get
live.
hit by his weapon,
I have no will to live.
and if this frostbite meter reaches full, then you're considered frostbitten for roughly 10 seconds or so, and you won't be able to
Just kill the
regenerate
person for me,
nearly
please.
as fast. So, in most cases, if you get frostbitten, then that's pretty much instant death, as you won't be able to block or dodge as effectively, and this guy is so aggressive that that means you're gonna die. I expect the frostbite effect to be some sort of weapon enchantment or buff that you can apply, since it looks like it's a part.
Oh, I fucked up. God damn
If
it.
you do manage to kill him, it might take you a couple of tries. It allows
You
you
should
to
die
read
if you
the last
fall.
law
Oh.
note, which reads, "Died in solitude. May his soul find its way back to the rigid."
My shit only does that much
This is the
damage.
final bit of proof that these graves refer to the hollowed creatures that reside near them. So, at the end of one of the networks,
I have slain an enemy.
I decided,
Okay, kill the
I've
other
done
ones.
everything. I might try to speedrun this because I've played it so much. So on this character,
Keep their attention and I shall kill them all.
boss and kill her in 3 minutes and
Meat shield, right, nigga?
From the very start of the game, this shows that it's still possible to speedrun.
Don't bring him to me, fool!
To get in your way more often than in previous games, but as long as you know where you're going, you can get there fast. The boss herself is pretty special. Her moveset is mesmerizing, and it's difficult to predict, and they've clearly made her butt really defined.
Pull your weights. Pull your weight, you fool.
The camera also zooms out during the fight.
Yo, Melville, one of the sentinels did a jump attack and it got stuck in the ceiling.
Look how the cathedral just becomes more and more on fire as this fight continues. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys.
Pull your weight, fool. You fool.
And before you go, I'd really appreciate it.
Shit!
Oh, I'm dead.
Do not die. You run away. You run away, soldier.
Thanks for this video, and as a result,
Yo,
the
I'm
audio is
seven.
looking a little bit crisper and not as bad as you.
Ha! Ha!
So, yeah, go check him out. He made a really good video.
What do you do? Run! Run! Just run. Run circles. Just run no, run! Run! Run around the map.
Enjoy. Thanks for watching, guys.
Oh, I'm out of spells. Oh, we're fucked.
Which
Yep.
is the one that's out of health?
I don't know. One of them. The ugly one.
They're both ugly. Found it.
Alright, just... You don't have any gems? No, I don't want you fighting, bro. I want you running, hiding.
We love about
Cower.
you know, the lore, the characters.
I need you to cower.
PvP is the thing that they need to get right the most.
Because of that.
It's a vitally important part of anyone's first playthrough. And I think the best PvP system will be the one that everyone plays even years after its release.
You know what's even worse? How many souls did you have?
I'm going to run you through everything
None.
from the network test.
Oh, well, alright. Well, you're fucked. Mobile.
Let's see
I believe this is your fault.
First up,
That death that he received is on your hands.
item similar to in DarkSouls 1. This item lets you invade as many times as you want. Miyazaki has stated that players will no longer be locked behind consumable invasion items, which is good for encouraging invasions. Additionally,
Marky, we're taking a break from you. I'm summoning you guys now.
not soul memory.
I'm summoning you guys.
I had really fast invasion.
No, you need to not be alive.
Everyone's biggest concern in the network test was that you could only be matched with hosts who had summoned help, meaning that most of your fights were against multiple players. Most fights involved teaming up with a red phantom for victory, like you see here, or it meant going
Alright.
by yourselves.
You really
Most of your
with him?
fights were 1 versus 2, or 1 versus 3, or even 1 versus 4, which is pretty brutal.
As have I.
This was probably intentional.
Do you work? Mobile, do you work tomorrow?
To fill these worlds with as many phantoms as possible. This is an
Alright, so we're gonna get back to this grind afterwards.
test their servers. So while I'm really scared that this mechanic will remain and that invading multiple opponents will become the norm, I want to believe that it's just a feature of the network test. So let's hope. Players
Oh, you're not too tired for that, huh?
tests. It was really common to invade a fight club where you fought one enemy at a time in a civil manner while this panel of judges
Yeah, hold up.
watched on from above. The dried finger item was useful after every
Hey, do not disrespect the game. The game knows, and the game will, trust me, the game will just destroy your life.
You also invade with half of your remaining.
Alright guys, we're about to call it a night. Well, because this is a dual stream, which means I do not play it by myself. Even though I should, because I'm totally awesome.
Because killing other players actually rewarded you with Estus so that you could continue fighting. Killing an invader as a host gives you 3 Estus, killing an invader as a white phantom gives you 1 Estus, and killing a white as an invader gives you 2 Estus. Between the host and the invading player, encouraging the host to hunt down the invader if they're low on health or mana, and encouraging the invading phantoms to hunt down the white phantoms until they can.
I am still streaming. I'm just getting prepped up for next round.
Take the 2
Next
white
round.
phantoms in
Jesus.
this, for example. They were kind enough to die so that I could keep my health topped up, and it let me keep up that pressure until the host was left alone. And
Okay,
I started
DarkSouls is
all the
out.
Estus in the world. Speaking of
That
healing,
guy pays
it's
you, yo.
nearly instant now, and almost twice as fast to take effect.
Just take care of that game.
However, in Dark Souls 3,
I always take care of my games,
you
know
know
this.
your character stands still for a really long time, meaning that
Yeah, alright guys, I got my serpent ring that I was looking for.
but it's also very easy to get.
I was looking for the serpent ring that I just got.
Look at this guy.
And it's a serpent ring +1 too, so I get more souls as I kill people. Alright guys, the crew has called it a night. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. We shall see you guys on the next episode of what do we call this? What do we call this?
Now he has to fight the boss with no phantoms.
I don't know, Dark Souls crowds?
The Dark Alliance. Oh no, don't. That's trademarked. Let's not do that. Either way. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time on the next video.
Let's talk about backstabs. They're usually a pretty controversial topic. Everyone remembers the lag backstabs of Dark